We're the last of the cowboys to giddy up gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete, it's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James, a modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Saddle up, boys.
So it's the Sunday after the Gulf Coast Big Rig Truck Show here in Biloxi, Mississippi. Who do we got there in that pretty blue Peterbilt there?
This is Keegan Sanchez from Plaquemine, Louisiana.
10-4. Well, tell me about the truck you got there and what you do with it.
The truck is a 2007 Peterbilt. A-cert motor was taken out, 6NZ Caterpillar motor was put in. It's got a 2-line wet kit, and we pull a gravel trailer, hauling sand and gravel and construction materials around South Louisiana. And we also occasionally pull a flatbed drop deck and pretty much anything we got to hook up to make a dollar.
10-4. So Keegan, we've hopped onto I-10, and I believe we're headed back homeward for you. You ain't got no sleeper on there, so you must do the work that you do must keep you close to home there.
Yeah, I'm home nightly. Very blessed. If I do have to go out and get a hotel room, it is what it is, but that's very rare. I have gone out and done some hurricane relief work out in Texas, and also went down to Dunlin, Florida, and helped out after those hurricanes, and we were actually put up in places to stay. But other than that, we try to make it home every night to mama.
How did you get into trucking, and how long have you been trucking for?
Believe it or not, it's a funny story. Ever since I was a baby, my first word was truck. Before mom and dad, it's actually in a baby book my mom wrote down. It's always been my dream, always the only thing I ever wanted to do. Had a full paid academic scholarship to LSU. I actually turned down to drive trucks and started when I was 18, so it's been 23 good years of driving so far.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Now, is there anyone else in your family that was trucking?
No, sir. It's just always been a fascination of mine. Some of my friends that I used to go on vacations with when I was little, we used to have a contest, and their parents used to laugh at us. I would be in the back seat and see trucks coming from 2 or 3 miles away and guess the make of it. You know, whether it be a Peterbilt, Kenworth, Marmon, Western Star, it didn't matter. And I never got one wrong, and they would always laugh at me. And all my school teachers to this day will grab me and say, you know, you're the only person that we had in school that knew exactly what they wanted to do when they grow up and became successful at it. And makes me pretty proud, you know. I followed through with my dream, and one was to be here with you, and here it is coming true. So I mean, I want everybody to know that watches these that you know, you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about being able to achieve what you want. You know, if you work at it hard enough and you have that mental determination, you can get there. And it's always great to hear stories like yours and see how guys get to where they want to be. And so, speaking of getting to where you want to be, what are some of the challenges that you've had along the way in getting where you are now?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. You'd have to follow us back home 2 hours for me to be able to fill all those blanks in. But Oh man, it's been self-made with a lot of help from people who have taught me things along the way, and I'm proud to say that this company that I started just 3 years ago, I started for my son, and it's 2KS, and he's the other K, and he always says he's the top K in my symbol. So I told him if he ever drove trucks, he was going to be punished, but I want this all to be his. Whatever I make of this to be his one day, and that's my goal. And every time I hit a downfall, I look at him and I can't give up, you know. So we all have our little troubles and tribulations, and we just got to push through them. And I've had mine. I've had my fair share, and here I am today, you know, trucking in my dream truck, and can't complain about it.
Well, that's pretty cool. And so you make it sound easy, like you opened up truck paper and saw the truck that you wanted, you went out and bought it and got to trucking. So what were some of those steps that you had to take in between to get things right?
I was always a company driver. I actually had started my own company one time before, and the truck that I bought was a lemon. It kept breaking down, so about 8 months after I bought it, I couldn't even afford to turn the key on anymore. Transmission had went out, motor had went out, and I mean, when you start a company and 21 years old and, you know, trying to make your dream come true, you give it up. And I had a guy who took me under his wing and hired me as a driver and put me back on my feet, and I got back into it and ended up to the point where I was managing a trucking company for someone else, and I did that for 4 years, and it was a great experience. I learned a lot. They taught me very well, and I kept seeing, you know, these dreams that, you know, I had to go out and do it on my own, so I pushed through and I did it. This truck here was not for sale, and I actually found it on Facebook. A friend of mine on Facebook owned it, and he's in North Louisiana, and he got my number, and we ended up talking one day, and I asked him if his truck was for sale, and he said absolutely not. And I said, you gonna sell that truck to me one day? And he said, nah, that truck will never be for sale. It's a pride of my company. And I called him once a month for 10 months and asked him if he'd sell that truck to me, and every month I called him, and he told me I was crazy. And 1 month he finally said, you're not gonna stop calling until I sell you that truck, huh? I said, you finally getting the point. He said, well, if you bring me a check, I'll let it go. And I brought him a check the next day, and that was a year and a half ago, and to this day, he still kicks himself in the ass for letting it go, and I'm kind of glad he did.
Talk about determination. That's pretty funny and amazing at the same time. So what are some of the other plans that you have for the truck as you move forward?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna throw some cab lights on and repaint the frame, and I mean, hey, we got a few secrets and surprises. You know, we just got to let that be seen the next time we meet you at a truck show.
Roger that.
The truck used to pull a wood chip wagon, and it had a hydraulic tank on the frame, and I took it off and put a split tank on the passenger side, so I have 50 gallons hydraulic and 50 gallons of fuel, and we're gonna take all of that off and repaint the frame for sure and get rid of those surface rust spots. And you know, my wife asked me, when were we going to stop spending money on the truck, and that's a question that has an easy answer. We're not. It's going to be always something that you know, you get that new idea and that new feeling, and you know, it's like they always say, it pays to be cool.
I guess you'll be buying stuff for the wife and the truck at the same time to keep a smile on her face too there, right?
Ain't no doubt. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
10-4. I like to ask some guys to give some advice to guys that are wanting to start out and get somewhere and get in a position similar to yours. So what advice would you give to some guys based on the experiences that you've had if a guy wanted to buy a truck and start his own business and everything?
I did my homework, and when I say I did my homework, luckily I've been blessed to be around a lot of old school truck drivers as I was growing up, and I sat in the passenger seat and I watched them shift gears, listen to the sound of the motor as they pass through the gears, and I also listened to them, and you'll be amazed at how many business ideas and information that they can feed you while they're driving a truck on how to run a company and what they would do if the company was theirs for the truck that they would be driving. And you take all of that information and you just got to let it sink in, and each guy is going to give you a different bit of advice. You got to put that package together and write your own story. The first time I ever got in a truck, I was 17 years old in high school. Went to Houston, Texas with a buddy of mine to pick up a brand new gravel trailer, and he was in his 50s. And we came back across the Louisiana state line, and I had been riding with him for about 4 years, just riding the passenger seat. And we got into Lake Charles and pulled over on the shoulder and put the flashers on, and he got out the truck. He opened the passenger door, and I asked him what was wrong. He said, "You've been doing this long enough. I want to see what you got. It's been your dream. We're going to let you." So I started shifting gears and drove all the way back home and never missed a gear or anything. And right then I knew I was made to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the truck looks good running down the road, and I really appreciate what you've been able to share about your experiences and everything. And you're kind of tight-lipped on what you're going to do going down the road with the truck, so I guess we're just going to have to tune in and keep our eyes on you.
Yeah, I mean, first off, it's a work truck. Definitely not a show truck. Friday afternoon, I wasn't even coming to the truck show, and my truck was acid white, and I got home about 6 o'clock in the afternoon and started hand polishing it. And I called my wife at about 7:30, and I said, "Guess what? We're just gonna take the truck out there and just bring it to the show." And I stayed polishing till 1:30 in the morning, and woke up at 6 o'clock and headed to Biloxi. So here we are, and proud of the way that people have been giving me compliments. So I guess the hard work's paying off, but it gives you the initiative to want to do more to it. But first of all, it's a work truck, and it's got to be back in the sand and gravel pits Monday morning at 3 a.m.
A.m. comes quick. I appreciate you being able to bring it down here to the show where people can get a look at it, and of course you can enjoy some time off and hang out with some of the other folks.
Absolutely. We're all family. We're a band of brothers. We got to stick together. If we don't stick together, this whole industry is going to fall apart. So the camaraderie that we have, especially here in the South, is unbelievable. We all look out for each other and stay close-knit family.
Last question for you. When it comes to being here in the South and being tight-knit and everything, what are some of the things that make trucking in this area special to you, and trucking in this region special to you?
The number one thing I would say about our area is the fact that we have a great economy, and most of our drivers can run local in our region and make good money at it. So we end up passing each other, 2 or 3 times a day on the road, lots of times. So, you might not know him by face, but a truck driver never forgets a truck. And when you do get to stop at the truck stop and get you some go-go juice, and you see that beautiful Peterbilt, that beautiful Kenworth, that beautiful Freightliner that you saw on the interstate, and that guy's pumping fuel right next to you, you got a chance to talk to him and get to know him, and you kind of see what he's doing. And that's a great thing about living here in this area. Of course, we do have a lot of guys that run cross country, and the number one thing is they usually come back. It's great here in this southern region. We're all family because we get to see each other. We're so close together.
I think that's great to hear that it works out that way.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
Well, Keegan, it's been awesome to talk to you. We've known each other for a little bit, via social media, and we've met up a couple times at different truck shows. But it's nice to see you in your truck headed down the road, and be looking forward to seeing what you do with the truck in the future.
Absolutely, Chris. It's been an honor since the first time we got a chance to meet at Super Rigs, and we got to ball some crawfish for you. And next time you come down, we're going to have to get some more crawfish ball for you, and it's definitely been an honor. It's been a dream come true, I'll tell you that, buddy. And we definitely want you to truck safe.
Yes, sir. It's been my pleasure, and I can't wait to come back to this area and spend some more time in Mississippi and Louisiana. It's there's some fine people down here, and and I had such a warm reception being here at the truck show. I can't wait to come back.
Yes, sir. We'll definitely welcome you back with open arms. You know that.